How's it going, everybody? This video is on how to buy businesses. Details. Not the fluff, not the motivation, not the bullshit for $10,000 or $2,000 seminar of hot air crap where you don't learn anything. This is the details. So, buying businesses. As we've mentioned before in all these other previously done videos that I've made, is that being rich and being poor is the same level on the spectrum. The only difference is between your mind. Okay, so now you have that. So what is that? How does that apply to the buying businesses? The buying businesses, we have all kinds of tools, products, and ways to get you in a business with no money down by leverage, as in loans, SBA loans, normal loans, private equity, all this. There's really a couple types of businesses. You're buying a business with real estate or buying a business without real estate. I can get you in basically any kind of business, as long as it cash flows and the margins are good and it's making profit and you want to do that. The thing is, you have to wrap your mind around, is that you have to go out and find them. The reason why people aren't finding these businesses and not finding commercial real estate is because your brain is locked up in a box thinking you need to be poor and can't do this. Well, you can do this. Super rich do it all the time. Yeah, I've done it all the time. People have done it all the time. My clients have done commercial real estate. The reason why, if you're a shrewd investor, you're going to buy every single thing you can with as minimum risk as you can, with as low amount of money down or out of your pocket as possible. Now, look at the show Shark Tank. You watch that show, you see this. You have the 3 billionaires or whatever, or 4 billionaires or multimillionaires, whatever. And every one of those shows, you cannot tell me that 99% of every single person that stepped onto that show would not do the same exact deal with any one of those guys. Lori with QVC, Mark with his connections with retail and stuff, and then O'Leary with he's got Costco, and then you got the other guy with retail. None of those people, you cannot tell me, I would say 99% of those people would have done the exact same deal with no money down, i.e. no angel money put toward them invested in their business. Now, they would just be buying the business, which would be an acquisition, or merging with it, and that would be a contract and an agreement, because they would be solving a problem for all of those entrepreneurs that cannot get the scale and get the money and get the production and distribution and manufacturing done, which they know their business or they know their industry. So all of those have the skills and tools. So you have the exact same skills and tools in the industry you're in right now. Now, the way you would go about doing this, which I'm going to tell you how to do this and then expand into other businesses and to fix and flip them. The way you would go about doing this in your own industry is you'd either find some that are distressed or have cash flow problems, or they want to retire or whatever. You can find them all over the internet, and they're for sale. The reason why everybody's not finding this and everybody's not finding the real estate, commercial real estate, is that this is the problem. You, like being a single man, and younger days, you write down all the qualities and every single thing you want out of a woman, the best thing you want. What do? You wait till you find her, and then you go get her. So, same principle I'm talking about here. Instead of looking on the internet and looking all over for these things to be sold, you go to the commercial real estate, or you go to these businesses and you propose to the ones that are not for sale. You make them the proposal and you bring the solution to their problem. So if it's an apartment complex or apartment buildings around your area and none of them are for sale, it's easy. You can go look at them just by the shape they're in and assumptions by the cars in the parking lot. Probably the average cars there are probably pretty shitty, not too great. Maybe they're average, normal, and maybe there's one super expensive one. That's obviously the owner. That means you need to go up to his ass and say, hey buddy, I want to buy your apartment and make an agreement with you. I'm going to give you a long-term picture. I'll get you a payoff in a couple years. Want to walk in, I can expand this income and all these things and solve the deal. Or if you bring me into the equation, I can get the money for the apartment 100%, literally, because I got private money can go down for your down payment, or worst case scenario, if he's cooperative, you get it. He want to do it on an assumable loan and kick it over to you for free and walk away free and clear, or 80%, and then we come up with 20 or 10% down on some scenarios. Same with the businesses. If it has real estate with the business, that's a simple no-brainer. If it doesn't have real estate with the business, you're going off the assets. So if it has any equipment or any assets, you're basically doing a leverage buyout. Leverage buyout is based upon the assets of the company. If it has equipment, inventory, or any assets in that business, and the loan money is structured upon the assets of the business. So it's basically a business is eating itself because it's producing the money, but you're buying out the income from the assets to get the loan against it, as if buying a car. You buy a car and you don't have a car, you don't have money, you don't have shit, but you have shitty credit, but you can buy about a $60,000 car with shitty credit, or $50,000 car, and you have no other cars, you have no other loans, you have nothing. So you're really walking into buying a car with no money down. Buying a business is the exact same way, but it's even better than that, because 99% of all business equations, when you buy them, literally almost all your big transactions are structured in a way with zero money out of your pocket, meaning that if you bring yourself to the table and say, I can present a scenario where I can solve the equation, you're going to merge with them, you can bring in more clients, you can expand the business, and you can do all these things that the normal business owner could not do, not counting if he is distressed. If he's distressed, he's wanting to get out of there, or he has no money, which most business owners do not have enough money, because all the money is going in other capital markets that are more liquid and easier for private equity to go into, that aren't as risky and don't have the issues that normal business owners have. All business owners seem to have cash flow problems. And in the next 2 years, 70% of all baby boomers are business owners that are generating the GDP are going to be retiring. So now, like all times, is one of the best times to get rich. Like every single day is a great day to get rich if your eyes are open and you're looking for opportunity. So you're going to be able to present yourself. You're going to present a solution to the problem. If you're going to go up to any business owner and propose they want to sell, or you find ones that want to sell, or you just go around saying you're going to go into networking places or morning leads groups or whatever, and you present yourself as a straight up an investor, you're going to have tons of business owners all around you wanting to give you money anyways, because they all need money. Everybody needs money. So you can either merge with them, and if you start out in your own industry, you know how to solve their problems, and you get it going, restructure their business and get that business off the ground. Then you're going to get it to where it's making more money, and you can double that business overnight by bringing in any of the competition. So if you bring in the competition to whatever business you bought, that automatically doubles the size of that business in literally one day. And you restructure it and you do the business, and then you work the equation to where you're going to expand, and you can do a roll-up, which is consolidating all the industries and bring all the businesses in the same industry and spreading it out over the landscape of the United States, getting multiple offices, cutting the overhead, lowering the expenses, maybe cutting the extra staff, keeping all the cash in the bank that you would normally take out as payment, building it up. And so if you're buying $1 million business and you start consolidating all these other industries of the same business, all these other businesses in the same industry, that $1 million business can easily generate, like within a year, $10 million. No problem if you're on your game. You can spread them out across the geographical location of the United States. It's making $10 million a year. Boom. You got that. You got the cash in the bank. You got the structure down. You got the lean performance of the business. At that point, within 1 year, if you're on your game, maybe 2 if you're slow, and you have done this as an owner of the business, but through your manager. The reason you're doing that is because when you structure that and you go to sell it at the profit of $10 million a year, anybody can get a lien on that or loan on it and sell it, or a large company, because you bought out bought out this business around the $1 million range. You got it up to $10 million by consolidating and doing this. You will now be on the radar of all the big companies, because you're only buying between $1 to $5 million businesses. Now that you're on the radar of all the big companies and your little $10 million company, well, 5 years from now, will be worth able to sell this thing based off of 5 years on a low case scenario, $50-60 million. That's just from your work on one industry, on one business, and that's called a fix and flip. That is a $50-60 million profit. Basically, that's a fix and flip. Or you take that business, you do exactly what I'm saying, and you continue to do it and keep running the equation, go to IPO and all that stuff. Or you just don't do the roll-up and you do the merge with the business. You keep the business owner on there and you're in for however much percentage of the equity, and you're doing all the work and everything. You got things structured up. You get $1 million, $2 million a year, and you want to sell the business. This is going to be a fix and flip. This is the other way to do a fix and flip, is that you're going to resell it back to the original owner, because now he's getting all the money and do all the stuff, and you got paid for all your services for doing that. So now that you've got that done and you know what I'm saying on how to buy and fix and flip a business, you would take your knowledge of doing that and you transfer it to buying other core businesses or other businesses, like in the financial sector, like services of anything with equipment, services of any, business related. You could go into communications, gyms, restaurants, nightclubs. It's all the same structure, but instead of doing a roll up, you want to lean it out, get the profits better, expand it, grow it, build it up, and do it like that. But in the purchase, all the purchases are going to be little to no money down, or no money down at all. I mean, the old days when you have leverage buyouts and stuff where you do like junk bonds, or you're going to do it with insurance, or you're going to do it with private equity, or you're going to do it with large buyouts against their assets and everything, like normally how you would do it, that's how you would do it with the big loans. I mean, nowadays we could still do the loans and do all the things, but it can be done, and it is done all the time by zero money down, by the agreement and making things work. Now, so if you're doing that, if you want to just fix and flip it, you restructure it, sell it back to the owner, or you're going to build it up for a year, and you're going to take several different industries and you're going to build them into one large industry, and that's basically you're consolidating them into one large company. It's actually the opposite of what I just told you. And doing that, you can get acquired by other IPOs, or become an IPO, or become a publicly traded market, because that type of company, because you have all these industries, becomes highly liquid and highly easily to be capitalized. And that is what people will put money into on investments, and that type of company will go public and make tons of money. That's the whole trick to buying the businesses. So you got two strategies. Actually there's more than two, but you have like three strategies there: merging, roll up, or basically it's an conglomeration of several industries coming together into one entity, to where you have a large liquidity where you can go public, or just allow it to be a corporation and take in money from shareholders, increase the stock, and increase the value of the business. It's simpler than you think. You can look for businesses on businessbuysell.com, other business sell sites and all that kind of stuff, but it's easy to find, just like commercial real estate, off-market commercial real estate. But the trick is, if you're good, maybe you hire a couple of people, you get an office, you start doing things, you're going to find the businesses, you're going to see what is looking like it needs cash flow, or what's hurting, or what's been around, or it's older guy wants out, or these things. I mean, it's really simple in the medical field, because all the doctors are going to want to retire, and like I said, you could expand into the overnight, emergency rooms, or 24-hour service, and specialize to do that things with those type of medical type businesses, the core barrier entry businesses. But on your other businesses, it could be technology or normal non-barrier entry core businesses. Those are easy to buy and pick them up at the period of time where they've already been going, or a lot of business owners are becoming an employee. Everybody knows that, and they don't focus on what the key things are as a business owner, as a real owner of a business, and expanding to build your empire. Is, as an owner, all you need to be thinking about is who is the key person that is gonna fill your shoes, and that person is gonna be running your company and what everything underneath it is doing. The badass manager that you trust and has came up from all the way down. As an owner, what you're thinking about is how you're going to merge this with your competitors, or merge it with other businesses, or buy other businesses and create more industries and more businesses that you own. Or you're going to do joint venture equations or private equity, or the exit strategy. Therefore, the owner should only be focusing on daily mergers, acquisitions, joint ventures, private equity, and the exit strategy. That's all he does all day long, all the time. And managing the main person in control of that business or that industry. And if you hire the right key people, as in the best, you only hire the very best of the best of the best of the best only people. Can't emphasize that enough. So you have those people in your business, and you threw out the bad ones when you merged or whatever, and you acquired the better ones, and you keep the best of the best. While you're focusing on those 5 key things, the best of the best people are innovating, creating, improving, constantly growing, building, and become a live entity of energy of itself, controlling the business, going its own direction, because you have the best of the best minds combining together. Doing that allows you to be the multi-billionaire, because they're doing that and you did your key jobs. Now, when you skimp on employees, and you skimp on pay, and you skimp on getting shitty people, and you skimp on getting shitty stuff and shitty equipment and shitty office stuff and shitty stuff and everything with low value and crap that doesn't work, you go backwards and fail, and businesses go out of business and everything collapses. This is how businesses run. This is how money is made. Best of the best that some business broker has, and he's trying to sell because he's a car salesman. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, and he already jacked up the numbers, and they're already wrong. Just like a realtor that jacks up all this shit on commercial real estate, and they kill half the deals because they're so ignorant and they don't know what they're doing. You have to talk directly to the business owner or the commercial real estate owner, and that means you go out and find them. So ideally, you're going to find them. You're going to find them in leads group, networks groups, or on the internet, and then you're going to propose what your plan is going to be and how you're going to pay them off. I mean, you can structure it where you expand it, build the company, and then pay them off with, the profits of the business, or if you want to get loans on the equity of the inventory, the equity of the assets, that's doable. But what is the key thing? Key thing on buying any business is really funny, is that all business owners write off all their profits, and their taxes are shit, and their profit is shit, and on paper they look like shit, and it's balance sheet manipulation, because it's not illegal and it's not wrong. It's just how you restructure the balance sheet and the profit and loss. And same with commercial real estate, because you can show a loss of $500,000 on almost any business, or 100,000, depends how big it is, and same with commercial real estate. But when you're structuring this, and you bought the business, and you merge it, and you expand it, and you build it, and you redo the balance sheet to where the assets are really assets and the losses aren't losses, which they really aren't, because you don't want to pay taxes, and you structure it and you do it right, which I will guide you through, then like you have, and you're not taking out your income, and you're keeping the cash in the bank. So like a year from now, or two years from now, you want to sell the company, it has a true value and a proven record, and the balance sheet is kick-ass, and the taxes are kick-ass. Then you take that business that you bought for $1 million, and you changed it to $10 million income in one single year, and that's where you sell it for $50 million. That's just your normal exit strategy. Or you're going to build all your businesses and keep these core portfolio businesses making money, and you're going to keep building on the commercial real estate and focus on the big things that make the super money. All that together is how you make your empire. So as a business owner, you can't be muddled down with the daily drama. You can't be doing the wrong things in wrong positions. You got to focus on the merger, the acquisition, your joint venture, and your private equity. Expand, improve, cut your expenses, raise your profit margins, control your employees from the management down, streamline your systems and constantly improve, and bring on your competition as literally merge with them, and continue to do that. Now, you can do this within the United States, or financial, or healthcare, or like an industrial business in Europe with your company here in the United States, as well as your merging with the companies here in the U.S. It can be a merger just between the two companies and just have it on paper and use it for leverage to buy something even better where you're both benefiting it. I mean, there's a lot of ways to manipulate it, and the way to find the businesses is you have to keep your eyes open for opportunity and make things happen and look for the businesses. I mean, you can go straight to the business for sale, present them with the equation. I can help you with this, or I can get you financing for it. Worst case scenario on almost all business funding that I can do for a person would be like 10% down. And then the seller normally stays on for a year. But the 10% down, I could either get you funding for it, or I have private equity, private money we could put down on it, or I could even put down some of my own money. It doesn't even matter as long as you get in the business and expand your business. So now that you have all your core businesses, all these things running, and you have all the cash, because just like angel investing, you can do your own private equity firm and loan it to other companies and buy into them and do all these other things. But you don't need the loans, and you don't really need the monies to get into the businesses you want to buy. But this is how you're going to buy your businesses: fix and flip them, or buy and hold, however you want to do it. I mean, right now I'm working on one for some baby boots from a company that's making baby boots out of China. Another one for like motor, like sports teams, like the travel buses and stuff, and a couple other deals. But if you have businesses you want to buy, consolidate, bring them to me, email me, let me know what you want to do. You just got to make sure the business isn't going broke, because the cash flow is right and the margin's good. And then basically, if they're in a distressed situation, or they want to retire or whatever, slam dunk. Or you got aggressive and you're going to go out and start looking for them, or you're just starting to talk to people around your networking events and saying, hey, you're an investor and you want to get into other stuff. There's lots of ways to do it, but those are just some easy things. But once you structure the business and you get into the business and you're doing it, you can change the balance sheet, the profit and loss, and the value of the company just by the structure of you doing it and perfecting it and doing all these things. Same with the commercial real estate. The commercial real estate, just by changing the assets and the way the balance sheet is, or, well, you're going to increase rent and do these other things as well. I mean, you could change a $1 million apartment to, $2 million easily in a year to maybe a year and a half. There's many things you could do. It's just you have to go out and start getting the projects to start working on and build your learning curve. Also, I want to really also explain or re-explain or touch upon the topic I forgot to really emphasize, is that the reason why you're going to have a key manager, general manager, running your business that you've built up and you've got it from, and I'm just going off a worst case scenario, $1 million business producing $10 million a year. If you consolidate other businesses in the industry and you bring on your competitors and merge with them, man, that's ridiculous. That's a joke. It's actually going to be a lot more than that, and maybe it takes 2 years, but the numbers are so low that I'm just giving it to you so you can understand the similarity, the equation. But in reality, the numbers are actually way bigger, because you're focusing on businesses between 1 to 5 million. So, and you consolidate the other ones. I mean, just by picking up a competitor, you automatically doubled it, 2 million. Then you bring on other competitors or others, and easily make 10 million a year. So what I want to really present to you is that, like, you're going to keep the general manager running the whole thing, and you're going to focus on, like I said, the mergers, acquisitions, joint ventures, private equity, and always the exit strategy. So the real exit strategy is that you have that key manager in it. So worst case scenario, say 1 year from now and you make the 10 million, you want to sell it, you can sell it straight outright to the highest, largest, $1 billion competitor, or publicly traded competitor, because if you're in that field, you're going to be stepping on their toes, and they're going to buy it, and they'll probably just pay cash for, 50 million bucks. Or you want to sell it to somebody that has some money. Maybe they're going to pay down, maybe maybe 1 million down, and they're going to carry it, and you get the 50 million in a couple of years. However it's structured, or normally, worst case scenario, say it is another rich guy, he's got the net worth and all this stuff, and he buys it for like maybe 500,000 down, and you get the 50 million after a year. So you have the general manager in that position to sit there and work that for a year, and you took it off, and it's off the books, and you got the 50 million coming in a year, or maybe 2 years. You have several businesses like that. You got residual money coming out your ass, and you don't know what to do with it. It's all how you structure your businesses and your industries, and you put them together, and you keep the core businesses working, and you structure every business for the exit strategy or the plans on how you're going to do it. But if you have that key person in there, that key person stays in there, and not you working the business like you're working the Dairy Queen all day long like an employee. You had it set up that way. You got it set up that way from day one, with intentions of the ability that you've done the balance sheet, you've done the profit, you've done the expansion across the geographical areas. You got the low overhead, you got the high profit, and the money in the bank to prove it all, so it is very sellable. And you got the manager that stays on while you can go to the beach and count your money. But if you like money, you're going to count on making more money, and you're going to still do the same scenario over and over with different businesses constantly, and then bigger and better deals in real estate and all this stuff. So the fact is that when you do sell it, you would sell it to the highest competitor, the most expensive or most successful competitor, and make the big money and get the big amount of cash and get rid of it. I mean, like the worst case, you got the general manager taking care of it, but you would structure a deal where you get like $1 million, 10 million or whatever up front, worst case scenario, and then even if they fail, you get the business back and you still do it again. But normally you're going to plan it to where you're really you're hiring and you're jacking with the biggest billion-dollar competitor there is, and taking in their employees and really hurting their market share because of the way you're doing things. That's how you're going to do it. But you want to do this structure. You want to focus on industries that are highly expansive, like technology, medical, communications, the healthcare, energy type stuff, those kind of sectors, retail, maybe some services and industrial type stuff. Things that have high potential for growth. That's the industries you want to get into. Then you're going to hire the smartest people and build it and do your model that way. So that is how you're really going to buy businesses. If you want to sell them, fix them, flip them, hold them, merge them, or just buy them. That's how you're going to build your core business, billionaire business, multi-billionaire business framework. All right, thanks for listening to this, and if there's any way I can help, give me a call, 312-473-4163. Thanks.